Walmart employees, what's the worst thing you have seen inside your store? Had a customer in a motorized scooter, his personal one, not store provided, come up to me at the sporting goods desk, and he asked me where the cans of compressed air are. I walk him over to some, and he thanks me, grabs a can off the shelf, and proceeded to start huffing it right in front of me. So I used to stock the crafts section on overnights. I'm kinda an awkward person, so no human contact was great for me. This old guy on a scooter insisted upon sitting in my aisle for like hours, just staring at the needles. Okay, whatever. I stocked everything I could. But finally I needed him to move, and honestly I was a little creeped out at this point. I mentioned it to my manager on the way to lunch. After lunch he was gone. Turns out he had died there like 5 hours ago. My time to shine. First job out of high school, 2009. Moved cross country to be with my girlfriend. End up working at a Walmart as a janitor overnight in the worst part of town in Tulsa. Admiral/Memorial for any locals. This place had everything it could underlock. High theft, and a few people had died there, so the workers nicknamed it Kill Mart. One night, a guy's in the sporting goods area and wants to buy something. He takes his wallet out, sets it on the counter for a second. Thief walks up and grabs it, runs off. The victim proceeds to grab a golf club, chase the man down and violently beat him in an aisle. Blood, broken neck. I'm like 95% positive the guy died. Destroyed aisle. Everyone in the store flipped. A bunch were calling people to view it in the CCTV room. My manager waved me down and asked me to clean up the aisle so the store would look nice for the morning. You know, the crime scene. I clocked out for lunch, quit the next day. I've only been working at a Walmart for 2 weeks. I've had 3 people lose their temper on me. One woman slam her cart into someone else's cart because she couldn't buy alcohol with an expired ID. And one guy tried to walk away with a whole cart of groceries, in which a different customer walked after him and literally dragged him back inside. Again, 2 weeks. Edit. I'm getting asked this a lot, so I'll explain. Stores can't accept expired IDs because they are considered invalid. If invalid IDs were accepted, then it would create an aftermarket for those IDs, which would then make it easier for people under 21 to get a hold of something they could potentially use to illegally purchase alcohol. When I worked at Walmart, a week wouldn't go by without someone shitting on the ground somewhere in the store, usually in the clothes section. This thread is kind of like a Walmart itself. I want to go in and see what's up, but I'm a little bit scared of what I might find. I worked at Walmart about 20 years ago, being the manager of the photo lab before digital took over. So my department was right next to the electronics department. I'm chatting with the manager of the electronics department, and all of a sudden we hear a woman yell, "Here it comes." We then see a middle-aged woman frantically scuttling down the aisle, holding her shorts near the back. She ran to the restroom, leaving a trail of liquid shit behind her. It looked like when a dog is sick and you're trying to get them out the door before they make a mess all over your carpet and they keep stopping to shit every few seconds. An employee went in with a pair of pants off the shelf to help out. She put them on and made a beeline toward the exit without paying for them, leaving her soiled shorts in the stall on the floor. Somebody put bleach ammonia and Drano in the fish tanks. Another time somebody sprayed deer pee all over the toy section. I'm really glad I don't work there anymore. It's kinda shitty to bring up because it's sad, and I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. But it's like 4 AM and this man dressed in a suit and fedora comes in. No face. I concluded some kind of cancer had ate away his face. All he had left was eyes and a massive cancerous hole. He just gurgled. We had to have him write down what he needed. It was sad, but god damn it, it scared the absolute shit out of me, and I never really forgot. Not an employee, but a very frequent Walmart shopper. All the Walmarts around me are pretty nice. Never seen anything nasty going on. But there was an incident once that still sticks with me to this day. When I was younger, my mom had to grab meds at Walmart in the middle of a storm. It wasn't a bad storm or anything, just very rainy with some thunder, but it was supposed to continue for several days, so of course the store was packed. So we were in line at the in-store pharmacy, and there was a man who was clearly mentally disabled, with a helper, in the front of the line. The man between us and them was this dude who in my young mind must have been a lawyer, did not fit the stereotypical Walmart look at all, wearing an expensive looking suit, perfectly gelled hair, literally carrying a briefcase. He looked annoyed that he was there at all. He intensely reminded me of Patrick Bateman, just an air of disinterest and arrogance, and was brushing his coat off every time anyone walked too close to him. Everything's fine, and the guy and his helper at the front of the line get their prescriptions and start to turn around. Just as they do, there's a huge thunderclap and suddenly, the power goes out in the store. It's not pitch black, but it's dark as hell, and immediately there's commotion in line. I look up just in time to witness disabled man punch lawyer dude square in the face. Lights flicker, come back on. Lawyer man is standing there holding his bloody nose looking like he's ready to murder someone. Disabled guy is freaking out. Helper is profusely apologizing and trying to help lawyer guy. Lawyer guy waves him off with a glare, walks to the front and calmly says his name plus info and throws down some money. Pharmacist hands him prescription, which he snatches wordlessly and turns away, brushing past me still holding his nose, leaving a trail of blood on the linoleum floor. I don't know why, but the entire thing felt so surreal I still remember it like it just happened. Wildest thing I've ever seen in Walmart. I worked at Walmart for all of my teenage years, and there was so much poop where it shouldn't be. That's the most disgusting. The worst would have been when some thieves attempted to run out the door, followed closely by loss prevention, turned around and sprayed them with mace, which then wafted into the store. A few seniors had to be taken to the hospital for respiratory issues. Everyone working in the store spent all day coughing as the mace lingered in the air, because heaven forbid they shut the store down and think of anyone else's health. Watched a high schooler stoned out off his mind trip over his own feet and slam through a middle aisle display of those egg crate file holders. Those suckers went everywhere. Also an old woman tracking diarrhea through the store trying to find the bathroom cause she shit herself. Worked there for a month as a summer gig during prime recession time. Luckily my department was a lot less crazy than some of the others or someone like a janitor. Plenty of weird stuff happened in my short time there, but only one thing really scarred me, and it isn't what you'd expect. One day employees and lower management in departments around mine kept getting pulled in for questioning, and I never did, so I was on alert. Finally I get called in and all the higher management were in there with concerned faces. Turns out a black employee accused me of racism and harassing him, saying that I called him the N-word multiple times. Not only did I never do this, but I'd never even had a full conversation with this guy before, because something seemed wrong with him, so I just avoided him if I could. This is a big deal for any company and I instantly started having a small panic attack, because I've never been put into a situation like that, and my only defense was that all I could say was no, I never did that. Luckily one of the managers brought up checking security footage for conclusive evidence in case a lawsuit or something of that nature popped up. In the end they had security go through every minute of security footage of when I was working and saw that not once did I have a single interaction with the guy. The whole thing shook me up and it all just made me feel bad, so I never worked there again. Other than the people freaking out and throwing shit, and one junkie who continuously stole cans of compressed air for dusting computers to do whippets in the handicapped bathroom, how that didn't kill him, I still don't know. One story stands out. This elderly obese woman came in with her service dog, a little chihuahua or something, probably for anxiety, gets one of the electric scooters, puts the dog with its leash into the basket. During the course of her shopping, the leash goes through the grate of the basket onto the floor and gets run over by the wheels of the scooter. The leash gets twisted up in the motor of the scooter. Eventually, the leash gets yanked tight and begins to strangle the dog. The dog uses what little air it has to panic, but quickly falls silent. The woman does nothing about this. Once she gets to the front of the store, she decides to check on the dog, strangled to death 6 inches in front of her. She flips shit and screams at every employee she can find, telling them to do something, save her dog. I guess she didn't know it was dead. It was their fault, blah blah. The dog had been dead for almost 20 minutes before she decided to check on it. piss and shit all over the inside of the cart that she didn't manage to notice or smell for 20 fucking minutes. I no longer work at Walmart. I unfortunately have no idea whether she sued or not, or what really came of it afterwards.